Hello everybody and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Now today we're going to be playing a farming and friends. So I currently have a farm which is maxed out. It has pretty much every single possible thing you can get in the game, and I currently have about 4.3 million coins on there. And for the purpose of YouTube, what I wanted to do is I want to start a new save for a YouTube series. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. Now, as you can see, this is the farm that we start off with. We start off with 50 tiles of wheat, a small garage, a tractor, a crop trailer, a plough, a cultivator, a seeder, and an animal trailer. We are currently in our harvester. Now, all this equipment is what's going to allow us to have a smooth beginning to our farm. So without any more talking, let's get into the video. So we're going to begin by harvesting all of the wheat on our plot. Once that's done, we're going to drive just over here next to our trailer. We're going to extend this and we're going to put all of our wheat into our trailer. Now, what we can do with this wheat is we can attach our trailer to our tractor. As you can see, we have 50 out of 50 wheat in our trailer, and we can drive over to the farm store in order to sell this wheat. Now, as you can see, here we have a crop sell values board. In this game, crop sell values change, and as you can see, red is the lowest possible amount you can get for that crop, and super light green is the best you can get for that crop. Rainbow is the best you can get for a crop. Now, just to make this game a bit easier for starter players, wheat always stays at rainbow. So, obviously, that is the value for one crop. So, if we have 50 wheat and we sell that for 4 each, we should get 200 coins from this. Now, since I am part of the Roblox group Done Games, which are the developers of Farming and Friends, I get an extra 5% coin bonus. So I'm going to get 10 extra coins. In total, I'm going to get 210 coins. So we're going to sell that wheat. And there you go. As you can see, our trailer is now empty. And we are left with 210 coins. So, oh gosh, once we get unstuck, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into this store here. And we're going to pick up a wheat box, because that is currently still the only crop we can afford. Corn costs 250. So I believe after we plant this wheat and then we sell it, we should be able to afford to buy corn. So now let's drive back to our farm. Now, before we get to plant our corn, first we have to plough and cultivate our fields. So first we're going to grab our plough, and as you can see, we're cultivating now. So I'm just going to finish cultivating this field and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so now that we've ploughed our field, I'm just going to put my plough just to the side here, and I'm going to pick up my cultivator. So, we pick up our cultivator, and again, I'm just going to cultivate my field, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, now that we've finished with cultivating our field, we can now attach our seeder, or planter, whatever you'd like to call it, to our tractor. We can fill it with our seeds. Oh, okay, hang on, that's really strange. For some reason my seeder is already full of seeds, of wheat. So I don't have to... Okay, that's really strange, but my seeder is already full of seeds. So, I'm just going to plant these seeds on my farm and I'll get right back to you. Okay, as you can see, all of my wheat has now been planted. So, whilst we wait for this green bar to go all the way up and my wheat to fully grow, I'm just going to respawn all of my items back into my garage. And after that, we should soon be able to go and pick up our wheat from our farm. So there we go, there's everything in the garage. Now we just have to wait for a little bit longer whilst we wait for this wheat to grow. Okay, as you can see, our wheat is now beginning to grow. So I'm going to get into my harvester and I'm going to start harvesting my wheat. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, all of our wheat has now been harvested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all this wheat back into our trailer, and as a matter of fact, I'm not going to go sell it just yet. First, I'm going to plough and cultivate my fields, and obviously plant this extra seed box, which theoretically I did not need to buy, and if I wanted to, I could move on to planting corn now. However, I don't want to, waste that one wheat seed box I've got, so I'm just going to finish ploughing my field, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, as you can see, my field is now fully ploughed. So now we're going to go get my cultivator, and we're going to cultivate my field. Now I think the seeder might be in the way. No, it's not, that's fine. Here we go. My cultivator has been attached. Now we're just going to cultivate my field. We're going to plant our last wheat box hopefully, and whilst that's planting, I'm going to go sell the wheat I have in the trailer currently. By the time I get back, my new wheat should be fully grown, so I'm going to harvest that, sell it, and by then we're hopefully going to move on to planting corn. So for now, I'm just going to drop all my stuff off here. I'm going to attach my seeder. We're going to pick up our wheat seed box, put it in. Here we are, 50 out of 50. Right, I'm just going to plant all this wheat on my field, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, great. As you can see, I have now planted all my wheat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, again, respawn all of my items, because I like having, a clean area on my farm. So that's all my items respawned. Oh, I might respawn my animal trailer as well, just so it's in my garage. There we go. I'm going to attach my trailer, and I'm just going to drive over to Farm Co. and sell this wheat for hopefully about 210 coins. Okay, as you can see, I've just sold my wheat. I got 210 coins. So if I get another 210 coins for this wheat that I'm going to sell here, that will bring me up to 530 coins, if my math is right, which again, unfortunately, will only be able to afford we'll only be able to afford to buy corn. So we can't move on to rice just yet, which is the third crop in the game. However, corn is still, in my opinion, quite a big upgrade from wheat. So I'm just going to harvest all my wheat, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, and again, as you can see, I've now harvested all my wheat. So we're going to pop that into our trailer, and we're going to drive it to Farm Co. and sell it. Obviously, as you might have already noticed, progression at the start of the game is fairly slow, and it can also be very repetitive for some people. Like, you literally start off with harvesting wheat, then you plough your field, you cultivate your field, you plant more wheat, and you repeat that cycle about 2 times, like I just did there, before you can even move on to your next crop. And yes, I've played this game for probably about 20 hours already, and I know how painful it can be at the beginning. However, please trust me that eventually you get to a point in the game where there is literally too much to do and you don't know what you should be doing, like on my main farm. So, as you can see, I bought my corn box, and we're just going to, again, come back to my field. We're going to have to plough it first, then cultivate it, and then we should be able to plant our fresh box of corn. So, I'll just cultivate this field, I'll just plough this field, and I'll be right back with you. As you can see, my field has now been fully ploughed. We're now going to get our cultivator, and we're going to cultivate our field. Okay, as you can see, my field has now been fully cultivated. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our seeder, which is stuck behind the animal trailer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to store this animal trailer very quickly, because we do not need our animal trailer just yet. There's still a long way to go before we start worrying about animals. So here we are, we've got our seeder. We're going to fill it with our fresh corn, and we're going to plant our corn. Now, an interesting fact about this game is that as you advance with your crops, each crop takes longer and longer to grow. So as you saw, wheat was pretty much instant, and I think corn might take around maybe a minute or two to grow fully. Now I know that rice, which is a third crop, grows for about 8 minutes, and then the more of the crops after that take even longer to grow. So as you progress, you have corn, rice, oat, cocoa, sugarcane, tomato, soybean, cabbage, carrot, and potato. Now, a fun fact, with the level 1 equipment, which I currently have, you can go all the way up to cabbage before you have to buy any new equipment for the carrots and the potatoes. Carrots need level 3 equipment, potatoes need level 4 equipment, or level 5 equipment, which is the best equipment in the game. Quite a big mistake, which I think I made on my main save, is I bought level 2 equipment. Now, at this stage in the game, level 2 equipment is fairly expensive, because as you can see here, if I just get into vehicles, and we go on all, we go level 2, you can see a plough is 3,000, a cultivator is 3,500, the combine harvester 4,000, the seeder 4,000, the medium trailer 4,500, and to be able to use any of this equipment, obviously apart from the combine harvester, to be able to use any of this equipment, you need to have this, which is a tractor, and this costs 4,500. So level 2 equipment is unnecessary because you do not need this equipment for progression at all. All this does is it makes your crops grow slightly faster, and that is not that faster. So after our level 1 equipment, which is this here, by the way, we can also get a truck which can pull trailers faster than the tractor, but unfortunately you're not able to pull a plough or a cultivator with it. This only costs 2,000, so I'm hoping to get this truck as soon as possible so we can pull our trailers with it. But after the level 1 equipment, ideally you want to skip level 2 and you want to go straight to level 3. Now as you can see here, we start off with some more complicated things. We have a truck which costs 29k, and then we have our 2 tiles at once cultivator, two tiles at once seeder, again 2 tiles at once plough, and we have our level 3 tractor. Now this equipment is totally out of our financial range for now. You can see it's super duper expensive. So for now, I'm going to focus on collecting my corn, which has now fully grown, and once I'm done with that, I'll get right back to you. Okay, as you can see, my corn has now fully been harvested. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump this corn into my trailer, and now using the keybinds Shift and P, I'm going to fly over to the crop sale values board, which I need to scroll up on. So if you just bear with me a minute, we'll do this, and then we can do this. Now, as you can see, corn currently is only sells for 9. Grey is the average price. Now, if we were to sell corn for 9 a piece, that would bring us to 450 coins, which would be about a 200 coin profit, which, yes, is quite a lot at our stage. However, I think that we could wait for the crop values to change first before we sell our corn. So what I'm going to do is, whilst we wait for the price to change, I'm just going to plough and cultivate our field so that it's ready for our next batch of corn. Okay, here we go, our field has been ploughed. Now guys, what I just realised is that I'm not going to essentially need to wait for the price to change, because I have enough coins. I have 280 coins, and that is enough for me to buy another box of wheat. Obviously, sorry, not wheat, corn. Corn costs, I think, 250 coins, so we definitely should not experience a problem with being able to sell that corn. So yeah, once I cultivate this field, I'm going to go just check the prices again, and I'm going to buy us another box of corn, our second ever box of corn. Okay, here we go, that's finished now. Let's have a look at the prices. So we've got a thing here as well. Okay, 10. So now we should get 500. Yes, that's only 50 coins difference, but trust me, in the long run, it does make sense to wait for the price to change, even if it's just upping it by 1. So we're now just going to drive over to Farmco. And here we are, we're going to drive onto this little thing. 525, again, I've got a 5% coin bonus. I'm going to sell that. That's 525 coins for us. That's 805 coins altogether already, which is a shocking amount of money. Now, I tell you what, we're going to buy 2 corn boxes, because why not? I have a feeling they might be useful. So, just so we don't have to come back here again, we're going to have 2 corn boxes. Again, we still have 405 coins left over, so we're going to keep that in our bank for now, and we're going to see what we can do with it later. So as you can see, we're now back on our farm. I'm going to attach my seeder, fill it with my seeds, and I'm going to plant it. Now, sooner rather than later, ideally, I do want to get an extra field. So I do want to get an extra standard field, which is a 5 by 10, if I'm not mistaken. So 5 by 10. Now, unfortunately, unless we rearrange our farm slightly, it does not look like we'll be able to fit this anywhere on our farm currently in any of the space we have provided. So yeah, what we might do is we might just move our garage ever so slightly to the right, and we might maybe even, rather than buying a second plot like that, we might just expand this one to a 10 by 10. But for now, I'm just going to plant the corn we have, and I'll be right back with you. Here we go, that is all of our corn planted. Now, I've got an extra box of corn here, so I'm just going to put that into my seeder. And here we go, we've got extra corn ready for later, so I'm just going to leave my seeder to the side, as we're just going to need to wait for this corn to grow. And yeah, so I'm going to have a quick look at seeing how I can rearrange this farm to make space for an extra little plot. So if I move this garage all the way over to the right, because currently you can buy extra land here, as you can see, but the cheapest land here is 1,000 coins. Now currently I definitely do not have that money, so we have to make as much use as possible of the space we currently have. So I am going to sell this path here as well. That's 160 coins already, which is great for us. And tell you what, I might even sell this right here, which gives us 384 coins. This is crazy money for us right now, guys. So we've got 849 coins. That is a lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to respawn all of our items into our garage. There we go. Our trailer can stay as it is. And yeah, let's just wait for this corn to grow, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, as you can see, our corn is now beginning to grow. So I'm going to get into my harvester, and we're going to start harvesting our corn. Now, whilst I was waiting for that, what I thought of was, even though I said that it's not exactly worth buying level 2 equipment, I think the only good thing it might be worth buying for, sorry, is this medium trailer, which, if I remember rightly, holds either 100 or 200 crops. And although we don't need that now, because we only have one field, one 5 by 10, at one point, more extra space will be useful for us. However, another option, rather than doing that, what we can also do is we can go into our farm, and we have these quests here. Now with these quests, we get this currency called bonds. Now with bonds, we get to go in here, and we get to upgrade our equipment, our animals, our storage, our honey and bees, and our factories. Now currently, we do not have any of these items apart from equipment. So I think a good starting point of upgrading essentially will be to upgrade our trailer capacity. So as you can see, I have 145 bonds, because I believe that it might just be what you start off with. So I'm going to upgrade our trailer, and here we go. It looks like now our trailer should be able to hold 100 crop rather than just 50. So we can test that out. If I just pop this corn into here we are, and now I get into my tractor, I attach my trailer to my tractor. There you go, you can see we now have 50 out of 100 corn in our trailer. So this will be very useful when we get to upgrade to our second field, which I might even do now. So what we're going to do, I do kind of want to try and make this look nice. So we're going to get our field, we're going to just pop it over here. Actually no, that doesn't look very well, that doesn't look very good, does it, in front of our garage? Okay, how about we just pop it here for now, maybe. There we are, that looks okay, doesn't it? And then, what I want to get just for a bit of decoration, I reckon, we're going to get a dirt path. We're just going to plonk it here. Take it all the way down here. And we're going to... Okay, we're 1 coin left. I can't afford it now. It was 750, wasn't it? If I try get a 5x10 now... Yes, that cost 750, so I'm 1 coin off. Just because I bought that path there. Oh well, that's okay, we can wait. So what I am going to do now is I'm just going to have a look at the corn prices, which as we can see is 9, so we're not going to sell just yet. Instead, what I'll do is I'll just leave this trailer here as it is, and I'll go and plough and cultivate my field. So once I finish doing that, I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, our field has now been ploughed, as you can see, obviously. These little ridges in our field means that it has been ploughed. So now we're just going to go and get our cultivator. Again, I'm just going to check our crop prices just in case they change whilst we weren't looking. No, it's still on 9, that's okay. I'm just going to go get my cultivator and I'm just going to run over this whole farm. Now, another thing I'm interested in is seeing if we can get a silo, because I think a silo might also be useful for our farm later. So how much is a small silo? 1.5k. So I'm not sure how much the silo can hold. However, either way, no matter how much it can hold, I think it can hold a few hundred crop. So it will be useful for our farm. And what I might do is once I upgrade and get my second field, and maybe even upgrade to our third crop in the game, which is, as we know, rice. Then I might try having to go out buying a silo, which will be a nice little addition to our farm. So I'm just going to attach our lovely little seeder. We're going to plant our corn, and once I'm done with that, I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, now that our corn has been planted, I'm just going to, like I always do, respawn all of my equipment back into my garage, because again, it makes our farm look a lot neater. Alright, so here we go, that's that. Now I think we'll have a look at the sell prices. Oh, it's 11, which is an even better price. However, I think we can, now that we've got a bigger trailer, we will just hold off before we do anything and sell our corn before this corn is grown. So we're just gonna make sure we fully fill our trailer before we go and sell, just because I think that would just be an easier thing to do. Now, just so I can show you what I'm planning on doing next after we get our second field, and maybe we even get some rice, which would be really nice. After that, I fancy getting some chickens, maybe. So with chickens, what we can do is we can buy them a feeder for 1,000. Then we buy them a coop for 3,000, as you can see here. Then we have to go and get them some fences. So I'm just gonna go in with the cheapest fence, which is 20 coins per side. And I think it needs to be at least a 4x4, I reckon. So 320 coins. Just to make it look better, we'll do a 4x5, 360 coins. We need to buy a gate, which again is it's not expensive. It's only about, as you can see, 25 coins. So that should be okay. And yeah, at one point it would be nice to get into the chicken business, because chickens make eggs, which you can sell for a lot of money at the animal store, which you can just see over here. Now, we're probably not going to get there today in this video. However, in the next few videos, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some chickens. Okay, now after all that, our corn is now ready to be harvested. So that is exactly what I'm going to do now. And after that, I just hope the lovely price of corn isn't going to leave us, and it's going to stay there until I actually get there with this corn. Because it would be a real shame if I harvest this corn, I put it into my trailer, I get there, and it ends up being a worse price. Now that would be really annoying if that were to happen. However, I think that I can be speedy enough to harvest this corn, and very swiftly and quickly get over to the farm shop. Right, here we go. There's all my corn. Now, quickly, let's get into my tractor before the price changes. Okay. Nice. Now, let's get... I'm stuck. There we go. Let's get our trailer. Hitch. And let's go. We've got 100 corn. So with 11, that's going to sell for about 1,100 plus our little bonus. So that should be about 1,200 maybe, something like that, I reckon. Let's have a look. 1,155. Okay, I'm happy with that price. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to buy a few more boxes of corn. I reckon we'll buy 2 boxes of corn, because what we'll be able to afford now is we'll be able to afford a second plot, a second field. So I'm just going to drive back to my farm with these boxes, and I'll be right back with you. Here we are. We're now back at our farm, and like I promised, we're now going to buy a second field for our farm, and it's going to have to be a 5 by 10 because that's how big our first one is. Oh, and we're going to extend it all the way up out to here. 5 by 10 field, 754 coins. There you go. Purchase. That leaves us down to now 654 coins. That's okay, because currently we're not planning on making any big purchases. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to plough and cultivate our fields very nicely. And I'll just like run across fully like this, because why not? It might just make my life a little bit easier. Here we are. Okay, so I've just finished ploughing this field, and then I'll get right back to you. Okay, that is our field ploughed now. Now I can already see that it is taking me a lot longer to do this than it was with when we just had one field. But obviously that is, you know, that's normal because we have double the field now. So it is going to take us longer. But we are still just going to... I might try do it like this instead, rather than going stripe by stripe. I might try doing a little kind of loop like this. Yeah, I think this does make it a bit easier, because that means I don't have to, you know, do like a 180 after every little stripe of field. So we'll do this. Here we go. And then we can plant our corn. And I think after I plant my corn, I'm going to start packing up for today. So here we are. Let's just get this cultivated. Very nice. Missed one patch. Oh well. It's fine. We can fix it. Right. Let's just leave this up on the side for now. Very nice. Now we're going to go get our seeder. And I'm just going to plant our corn. And I'll be right back with you when I'm done planting our corn. Okay, as you can see, I've now planted all of our corn. So that's 2 boxes of corn there, 100 corn, which we can hopefully pick up with our next lot of when we next harvest. So what I'll see if I can do now, just before we finished, is if I can increase my harvester capacity. Yes, I can. Now, there we go, that's upgraded. Now what that will do is that brings our harvester up to 100 slots. So now I don't have to dump the harvest into my trailer after every single time I get 50. Because now that we've got 100, I can just get both of these fields at once, and then I can fill my harvester with it just fully, and then I can fill my trailer with it to the brim. So I hope you enjoyed our very first Farming and Friends video, as well as my ever first video on my YouTube channel. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you very much.